both received your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you both. Shake hands and come out boxing. Shake hands.
With a big British clash, signed and sealed against the talented Irish southpaw Brian McGee, who's ringside tonight, of course. It's set for March the 31st over in Belfast, and there's a certain pressure on Carl Froch to make a comfortable Commonwealth 12-stone defence here tonight. The challenger Dale Westerman, who's got nothing to lose and believes he'll upset this carefully laid plan. He's won 15 of 20. Can he in any way test Froch, expose any defensive frailties in the champion, or is this mission impossible from Melbourne?
Well, at least he doesn't look phased. He looked fairly pumped up during the introductions there. He launched the first attack, although it wasn't all that impressive. So at least he's nothing to lose. Seems as though he's going to give it a go.
Froch started very slowly in his last outing against Ruben Grunewald as Westerman tries to close the range.
Yeah, he just clubbed him with a nice little right hand, Westerman. So, yep, he's come here with ambitions.
Does carry that left hand very low, and Westerman just getting through with a couple.
Yeah, well, that's the right hand again over the left hand that we've criticised Froch about so often. The hand is far too low. He likes to whip up a snake-like jab from that position, but he's open to anyone who can get the lead off that little bit quicker than he can.
Calls himself the Cobra, Carl Froch. Says his shots sting, and they come from unusual angles. Does carry power, 13 of his 17 wins inside the distance, but a right hand from Westerman, not phased here.
Froch has been caught far too often. There that goes again, and he's shaken with that one. This is a disastrous start from Froch. Sometimes you see fighters who are not as good as they think they are, and that's the look that Carl Froch has at this moment. He's not as good as he thinks he is. He better sharpen up here.
Big right hands from this unknown 36-year-old Dale Westerman. A massive underdog here. Froch 33-1 on to retain his title, and he's having a terrible opener.
And I don't think he's thrown the effects. That was a clubbing right hand which caught him high. I wonder if his head is cleared. That's a little bit better, but he's shipped far too many punches in this opening round.
The old worry, the cliche that accidents can happen in boxing when the plans are made. As he looked beyond Dale Westerman, Carl Froch.
Well, he certainly has his act on now, much more business-like, but he's left it a little bit late in this round. The meaningful punches in the earlier part came from the challenger.
Trying to establish his long jab, using that reach advantage, and blood from the nose of Westerman. But an unimpressive start from Carl Froch.
The only time he can hit you is if you pull out, stay there and pull out, like with your hands down. You've got to keep the hands up, move side to side, and use your jab, and your right hand follows it. Don't pull back so he can hit you with a daft dog.
Yeah.
Put your legs out, relax.
Robert McCracken with the words there, and the warning with that left hand low has been there.
Yeah, well, we've said it several times. He likes to pull the jab out from low down, out of sight of an opponent. But you're taking a chance if someone can get the right hand off that little bit quicker, and that's what happened here. He was caught several times with the right hand, and one in particular seemed to stun him a little bit. It caught him high. He recovered well. That was the one. That just seemed to rob him of his senses for a few seconds. But a sloppy opening round from Carl Froch.
On the reach now.
And it's not the first time.
Here's the second round of the fifth defence of Carl Froch's Commonwealth title belt that he won against Charles Adamu. And tonight defends against Dale Westerman, the silver and black as always of Froch, the exhibitionist, and big confidence, believer in himself, but he's getting tagged early on here by Westerman. Westerman, who's never fought at this sort of level before. Does hold the Orient and Pacific Boxing Federation light heavyweight belt, Westerman.
Well, he's finding range with the jab, but there's not the confidence, he's not stepping in behind it. I think Froch has maybe been training for this fight, expecting it to be easy, and he suddenly found out on the night he has some problems to solve out. Reflexes were slow.
John Keane just splits them. Trapped between the ropes there, Westerman. And he's got all the advantages, Froch.
Yeah, but I think that the biggest problem with Carl has always been his attitude, and he's certainly come in with the wrong attitude. He was half asleep in that opening round. And you have to wonder how low he carries his left hand if we look beyond this fight to facing the southpaw McGee with a sharp right jab. Then he's caught again, and he's hurt again.
Westerman piling the punches home, and a nervous look on the face of Carl Froch. How will he respond from this bit of bother? He's blinking as well, Carl Froch.
And he's not imposing himself on Westerman, he's flicking the jab. It's fairly solid, not full-blooded, but still he is having problems. This fella is far tougher than Froch imagined.
Already a concerned look on the face of Robert McCracken over in the red corner as Westerman just finds a way to get punches cleanly on Froch. That was better from the champion. Suddenly, one punch. Look at this now from Froch. Turns it around in the second.
I mean, things are totally different when he pushes Westerman back, but we still have to say it's another sloppy round from Carl Froch. He's capable of much better than this, still being caught.
Hands so low, and Westerman having his success. Good bit of drama. Welcome warm back to the York Hall Bethnal Green. Many thought this would be highly one-sided. Not so far.
Not quite the opposite. He's been caught far too often. He's been knocked off balance. He hasn't been seriously hurt, but he's been stung several times. So that was, for the first time he turned on the quality. That was a beautiful right hand. We need to see more of those.
A lethargic, sloppy start from the British and Commonwealth super middleweight champion Carl Froch in fight number 18, 21st for Dale Westerman, who's 36, 8 years older, and probably can't believe this chance actually came along, but it has, and he's making the most of it.
I mean, now that Froch realises this fellow can pose problems with his strength and a bit of his awkwardness, he should be pushing him back. But some of the jabs he's throwing are a little bit tentative. He should be making the first move here, not countering this fellow. Make the first move, push him back, get him on the end of the long punches.
Control the middle of the ring and use all those skills that made him such a great amateur too.
Yeah, if you let this fellow is physically very strong, if you allow him to come forward, then he's going to be much more effective. You want to push him back. Don't allow him to make the first move.
Again, Westerman gets through with a left hand. Just under half his wins have come by knockout, and he's been stopped twice himself.
Well, Froch caught Westerman with a peach of a right hand in the previous round. Didn't trouble him unduly, so it looks as though he has a fairly sound chin. So Froch is going to walking onto punches again. His defence is really letting him down again.
Just flicking with that jab, Carl Froch has not got settled. Critics question the hands down, that it will catch up with him at some point, and it's starting to unravel a bit tonight.
I can't believe he's been caught with so many of these crude attacks from Westerman. when he's lunging forward with a left hook and it's landing.
Again a left hook. And again, big flush on Froch's chin. And really worrying times for the Commonwealth champion.
Well, Adam, I said we haven't seen the best of Carl Froch tonight. We're seeing the worst of him. This is unbelievable. He's like a novice at times in here. And he's caught again. No defence whatsoever.
Wild flings and hooks from Westerman. Troubling Froch. Back he comes. But the reflexes. Right hand from Froch. That trouble Westerman. And suddenly the Australian in trouble. Great action here in the third round. The bell's going to go any second. There it is. He survives Westerman, but he was hurt after a very topsy-turvy round.
One pull out and let him hit you. You lucky bastard. All you got to do is punch and move and use your gloves to block punches. Don't put your hands down by your side. Let's keep them hands up and block and parry and stay sharp with a jab. Yeah. What you've done the first 2 minutes.
Keep the hands up, says Robert McCracken. 3 of the worst rounds of Froch's career.
Yeah, but it's no good telling him to keep his hands up during a fight. Obviously, he's not been doing that in the gymnasium. He's got terrible bad habits with his defence. OK, in the last 20 seconds, he burst into life, showed some real quality work. But all through that round, he struggled. He was caught repeatedly. Defences nowhere to be seen. And again, we see the toughness of Westerman because he took some real solid shots in the last 20 seconds or so. Froch showed the heart and courage that's needed in this game, but he should be using his skills.
Former 2-time English ABA champion, at times looking worryingly open and being caught by Dale Westerman. He must be winning these rounds, Jim.
Yeah, well, he's landing cleanly so often. I mean, I'm amazed how often Froch has been caught. Cannot allow this fellow to come forward.
It did hurt Westerman in the second and again at the end of that third, so they just believe he's got the power, but he can't afford to let this slip away with the big Brian McGee fight on the horizon.
See, I think the big problem, he's looking upon this as a warm-up fight. That's how he's treated it, and it's turned into a real tough battle for him.
His only real problem for his career so far has been with the right hand. Ruptured extensor hood, which needed time to repair, but he said it was working terrifically against Ruben Grunewald again. Westerman gets through in this crude manner.
You can actually see Froch winding up the right hand. We can see exactly what he has in his mind, yet he's the one who gets caught with the right hand. He's winding up bombs when he should be just confusing this fellow with his skills. Get the punches together, get this fellow under control.
It's a real effort, this, from Dale Westerman.
Jab's working better now from Froch. You would imagine the longer this goes, then obviously it'll start tilting in Froch's favour because he's the one with the class. But where has the class been so far?
This game, persistent, aggressive Australian. Everything to gain here. Nobody gave him a chance.
These are arm punches. He's walking in with punches that don't hurt anybody, asking to be countered with solid shots. I mean, this is a real tough little nut. If you're going to throw punches, you've got to do it as though you mean it. That's more like it.
That was through the middle from Froch. Trying to punch pick a bit more here in the fourth, and how he needs to. This nonchalant attitude.
See, I mean, people pick up bad habits at the lower level. If they're not knocked out, then they'll come back to haunt you. It's happening tonight, and I've no doubt it will happen again in the future.
Still open, Carl Froch, and one man who must be very confused at ringside, Brian McGee with Ed Robinson.
Well, Brian, are you pleased with what you're seeing or getting anxious?
Yeah, the early rounds now, the Australian came to fight, caught Carl a couple of clean shots, but I think Carl's weathered the storm now, and it looks like, I think from now I expect Carl to come on through strong and finish this guy off.
Is it not worrying how much Froch is getting hit?
It's not worrying for me, I'm quite enjoying it, but you know, it sounds that's his style. He seems to be taking his shots, no problem, walking through the guy, and I think that's what he's going to do next couple of rounds, walk through him, land his own shots, and the guy will stop him.
Froch's hands are so low. Is that just his style? Should he bring them up, or is that just the way it is?
It seems to be, no matter how much he's criticised, every fight he comes out, that's his style from an amateur as well, so if it works for him, good for him.
Prediction from here?
I think Carl Froch next couple of rounds is going to come strong, 1 or 2 rounds left.
Thank you, Brian.
10 seconds.
I guess Brian McGee is thinking, well, he wants Carl Froch to win for the big fight, but he doesn't mind if Westerman busts him up a fair bit.
Yeah, and I think he'll be hoping that Froch uses the same tactics when they meet. It's quite possible we've seen the best of Westerman now. Maybe things will start dipping now. Froch is using his skills a little bit. He seems to have his mind on the job a bit more. Westerman has put in a big effort, so maybe things will start tilting towards the more talented of the two. But I tell you, there have been some scares along the way, and still some.
Still coming on, bundling forward, Diamond Dale Westerman. He's really been a part-time fighter through his career. Many years of inactivity. But he did push Sam Solomon the distance, and he's been sparring with the wiry Solomon ahead of this.
I mean, these are crude attacks he's launching, and they're still catching Froch, still catching him with the jab. That's not a hurtful jab that's coming back from Froch. It's like a rangefinder, but no right hand to follow.
Toying with that jab.
I mean, these are like backhanded flicks. These are not jabs. See, Westerman can come right through these punches and get his own off.
Look at this from Westerman. Froch finally gets the gloves up.
Still walking on to 2 jabs, one after the other.
Says he's trained very hard for this, Carl Froch. I wonder if his mind was just diverted a bit. Difficult, these sort of warm-up fights, aren't they? Everything to lose.
I think what we're seeing tonight has been threatening to happen all through Carl Froch's career. He's never had the defence that's required. Okay, he's getting himself on top now. He's the classier of the two, but every now and again a little reminder comes back from Westerman.
Still trying to really exert his authority on this, Carl Froch. Got all the tools, you'd think, to make this job fairly comfortable.
I'm just trying to visualise the southpaw jab coming from Eamon McGee right over that Brian McGee right over that low left hand. He's asking for trouble. Beginning to grind out a result here. And I'm sure his corner will be breathing a little bit more easily now.
Body shot from Froch doesn't deter Westerman, who fires back. Plenty of spirit. Trying to work the flesh of Westerman though now, Carl Froch.
From Sky Sports next week on Friday Fight Night, it's Nicky Cook defending the European featherweight title against Yuri Voronin. That's next Friday night at 10 on Sky Sports 1. We'll hope for a home win, of course, there. What about this one here tonight?
Yeah, it's fascinating, Paul. This 8-1 outsider from the Brighton area of Melbourne, Australia, is giving Carl Froch probably the hardest night of his pro career so far. Is Froch just managing to assert control? Still, he's being easy to hit. The target tonight, Jim, astonishing.
And I think he's just so arrogant, he will not change what he's doing. He's sloppy, his defences are a disgrace, but he's so arrogant, he knows he's doing wrong, but he's not tightening up. It's as though he's saying to this fella, no, you will not make me change, I'll do it my own way, and here he's shipping more punches.
Bryce Birtwistle in the blue corner alongside us is really getting behind his charge, Dale Westerman. I mean, what an opportunity to take this title.
See, there is not enough snap in these punches, so Westerman is able to take them and come on right through the punches with his own. And again, backs off with his chin exposed. Once again.
Sort of shell-shocked look about Carl Froch. Languid, uninterested at times. Be interesting to see, back to the wall, what he can come up with.
Well, if you're not psyched up before the first bell, it's very difficult to get psyched up during it, and that still seems to be the problem with Carl Froch.
Just, again, toying with the left jab. Not a lot coming from his right hand, Carl Froch. And that's the one that he has had problems with before. He just shakes it again here in the 6th round. I think there may be a problem there, Jim.
Well, he has thrown it a couple of times, but what's worrying me is the fact that there's no snap in the jab. He's just toying with the jab and allowing Westerman to come right through it.
Look at that, he's half-heartedly throwing the right now, Froch. Tries to get some meat into that one. Westerman again waits. It's not pretty, the man from Australia's tactics, but it's been effective here.
Well, at least again, Froch looks to have got himself into the driving seat. But again, he backs off with no defence.
It's a left hook to the body from Froch. Backing Westerman up. That's a good uppercut. He throws that shot well, Carl Froch.
See, it's a different fight altogether when Froch pushes Westerman back. Coming forward, he's strong, he's a problem. Listen, good left hook from Froch.
Excellent finish to the round from the champion, Carl Froch. Well, few people would have predicted this would even go as far as it has. And Dale Westerman has had that success. Landed 2 more than Froch. You couldn't have written this beforehand.
Yeah, and Froch is the one who is obviously having his head knocked about with the punches. Whereas Westerman's a little bit tighter, a better defence, better able to take the shots.
Carl Froch just shakes his right arm out. The ice pack was on the bicep area of his right arm in between the rounds. We think something went amiss on the right side in the 6th, but plenty has gone amiss since the opening bell. Have we seen the best of Dale Westerman? Can Carl Froch just ease and box his way home?
I mean, all Froch really has to do is tighten his defences up, and here we go again, doing the opposite. This is unbelievable how sloppy Froch is tonight.
Just again, that arrogant pose, finds the left uppercut. Some of these shots, pinpoint accuracy when he throws them, Carl Froch. But the whole package, holes have been exposed badly here.
Now, he does throw punches, he can whip them up from low angles, but against good quality opponents, you will not get away with that. Now, this fella is fairly crude. He's come here meaning business, he's really going for it, but he's crude, yet he seems to have no trouble getting his punches home.
If Carl Froch had been sharing a ring tonight with Brian McGee, would he have lost his title?
Yep, I think his face will be badly beaten up with that southpaw jab. I just think they have to move this fella up in class. I think He's got the wrong attitude for these low-key fights. He's come in here thinking he's far too good for Dale Westerman. He is far too good, but not in this forum.
In a strange way, maybe this is the wake-up call Carl Froch needs. It's the right hand again, not thrown with full extension. Just talking to himself there.
But he still has that nonsense in his head. I mean, okay, oh, that's a good right hand.
That was a sweet shot. And again, Westerman made to look clumsy and has to take a gulp of air now. There's the uppercut. This is what Carl Froch can do.
But you know, I think it's more the fact that Westerman's blowing a bit as opposed to an improvement in Froch's work, because his attitude's the same there, still caught with counters with no defence, still chipping. I just think it's the fact that Westerman's put up a huge effort and he's beginning to run out of steam a little bit.
It's a man who's only had 20 fights since 1994. It's a big, big effort for Dale Westerman, this. Most interesting night in Carl Froch's career so far. There is the ice pack on the right arm. What has gone wrong, Jim?
Well, we've seen problems in the past. Fighter shoulders, Jesus Chavez against Morales. It was the rotator cuff, but he's managing to throw the right hand. So it doesn't seem serious, and I haven't heard them talking about any knuckle damage in the corner, so I think it's just the shoulder.
Let's get in the corner right now with Ed Robinson and Robert McCracken.
Robert, has Carl Froch picked up an injury on his right bicep?
Yeah, he's a little sore, but this is boxing. You're going to get the odd injury, you know. So he's okay. He's just got a little niggle in the middle of where his elbow is on the inside.
But how badly is it affecting him?
It's not. It's a little bit sore, so it's affecting him a little bit. But you know, he needs this type of fight. You can see when you're not stepping up in class and you're fighting the same time. He's a little bit undermotivated, but this will do him the world of good. And then he'll step up in class with the McGee fight, and then he's away.
You're not worried at the moment?
No, not at all.
Thanks, Robert.
Not a worried man, but extreme drama and excitement going on in there. Jim, this is incredible to watch this one.
Yep. And bad habits are learned. You don't just pick them up in one fight or on one night. So we've always known Carl Froch has several bad habits, and they've all come to haunt him tonight. He seems to be getting things under control now. He's physically very strong. He's obviously in good shape, and he's beginning to turn things around. But what a disastrous first 3 rounds, I thought. And overall, a very poor performance.
So confident and self-composed, Carl Froch believes in his chin as well, which has stood up tonight. He was actually saying something to you, Jim, I think at the beginning of that round.
Yeah, I saw him nodding down. I don't know what that would have been, but again, that should be the last thing in your mind. There's only one person he should be thinking about, and it's this nuisance he's got in front of him. But these are good punches. This is more like what we expect. I think he's beginning to grind the fight out of Dale Westerman now. Westerman is backing off now without being pushed back. That's a big sign of tiredness. Still full of heart, still full of fight, but he's used up a lot of steam.
We could have seen the best of Dale Westerman, and now he is on the retreat. And Froch is after him.
Yeah, he's looking for breathers now. But I tell you what, an effort he's put up, and still dangerous. I mean, the way Froch stands right in front of him, he could come up with one of these hooks again.
Just being worn down. Good uppercut from Carl Froch. Had to take ground there, Dale Westerman. This is a bad round for the Australian challenger. Catching up with him.
That's a little habit he's got, holding and punching. He's got away with it up until now, but referee John Keane has pulled him up. Yeah, he's just knocked the fight out of Dale Westerman. Dale Westerman has given his best, put up a fantastic show, but he's really beginning to struggle now.
Right uppercut was big. Breakthrough round for Carl Froch after an indifferent first half of the fight. Back to Brian McGee with Ed Robinson.
Well, Brian, is Froch in full control now?
Yeah, I think he is now. The Australian seems to start running out of steam. Carl seems to be just cruising along now. You know, it's not easy. He's not making it easy for him, but I think he's well in control and on his way to winning.
So you think it's a case of Westerman slowing down as opposed to Froch finding the answers?
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised actually it's went this long. You know, I thought Carl would have stepped up a gear and maybe had that guy out of there, but you know, he's causing a lot of problems in there, and it's making it tough.
You think he should step up now?
I think it's just step up at the right time to put the pressure on, especially over the next 2 rounds. You know, and take it out of the guy. I think the guy's cruising as well, looking for the distance too. You know.
Do you think Froch could stop him?
I think he could before it gets too long. The guy will see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think now's the time to step it up.
Thank you, Brian.
Yep, he's got 4 rounds to do it, and John Keane, the referee, just went to Dale Westerman's corner in between rounds just to have a look at him.
Straight on it now. Let's go, straight on it.
Whoa, now go.
Well, that was the most one-sided round against Westerman in the fight so far. I don't think there's not an awful lot of enthusiasm in the corner. I think maybe they know maybe his chance has gone.
Here is the 9th. Remember the silver and black of Carl Froch, 6 foot 1 inch from Nottingham, and this very game challenger from Melbourne, Dale Westerman, who's given Froch so much to think about.
You see the impact. He walked onto the hook come jab there. His legs are tiring, so obviously the punch resistance may not be what it was earlier. He was taking some thunderous punches in the earlier rounds, but now they're taking their toll.
Just try swinging again. Can't fault him for effort, Westerman, but it's all being sucked out of him now, and Froch is driving these shots home at last.
Well, one thing's for sure, Froch hasn't cut corners in the gymnasium, because this really has been a physical night for him. Action all the way through. He's never flinched. He stood right in front of Westerman all the way, so he's obviously in good shape. But the class that he has is now beginning to show itself.
Jim, do you think this would have dented his confidence?
I don't think it's possible to. He'll just put this down to a bad night at the office. I think it's in his temperament. But I hope he learns from it, because, I mean, the defence he's shown tonight, nothing short of deplorable. You can't take this kind of boxing up into world class. Now, these are good shots. These are quality punches.
Body shot went in there. That troubled Westerman, and a lot's getting through. And I think John Keane's taking a closer look, and he says no more. And finally, Carl Froch gets the job done and makes a successful 5th defence of his Commonwealth title. But there are going to be critics. There are going to be people picking holes in that performance. And what about the fight with Brian McGee now?
Well, I mean, it's nice to know you have a fighter who, when needed, can grind out a result when maybe his attitude's wrong, he's not boxing as well as should, but he can just grit the teeth and grind it out, and that's exactly what Carl Froch did tonight. But I don't look upon that really as a compliment. Here's a happy man here. He'll be hoping, I mean, there won't be massive changes in his style. I think Froch has his style. He could tighten him up slightly. It's his attitude, I think, is the big problem. But I tell you, we can be thankful for it, because that was a tremendous battle, loads of drama, loads of excitement, but maybe not the warm-up that a fighter wants before, which will be the most important fight of his career. So he's picking the shots now, doing as he pleases, had him under control, still not bothered about defence, but that just seems to be innate in his style. But these were real good shots, stepping in a perfect time. I mean, John Keane had gone over in between rounds to have a look at Westerman, so he knew he'd gone out of the fight, no signs he was coming back into it again. Good piece of refereeing there. Perfect timing there.
At the end of the day, Carl Froch would say he's a winner, and he got the job done on a difficult night. 18 out of 18.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute 45 seconds of round 9, in the interest of Dale Westerman's own safety, the referee has stopped the contest. The winner, and still super middleweight champion of the Commonwealth, Carl the Cobra Froch. And ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciations to visitor from Australia, Dale Westerman. I'll now ask Mr. Simon Block and Mr. Dean Hollington to present the championship belt to the still Commonwealth super middleweight champion, Carl Froch.
5th successful defence. Knockout win number 14. How do you sum that up, Jim?
Well, I think he just expected an easier night. I mean, he felt he was in a different class to Westerman. Maybe he was, but you still have to perform. You have to get your mind on the job, and I don't think his mind was on the job. And he just seemed so pig-headed, he wouldn't change his attitude. He decided which way he was going to do the job, and he carried on with it and did it.